Welcome to the Blitz. I'm Frankie Tovar.
I'm Angelina Martin.
This week we have a TVL matchup between Hilmar and Hughson. The Yellowjackets 5-2 overall, 1-2 in the TVL, and the Huskies 6-2 overall and 2-2 in the TVL.
Pretty evenly matched squads here, but Hilmar is coming off a 2-game skid and a bye, while Hughson is coming off a 2-game win streak where they outscored Modesto Christian and Riverbank 118-0.
And Hilmar and Hughson both have fresh faces at quarterback, Jason Pimentel for the Jackets and Robert McDaniels, the freshman for Hughson.
Both of these teams are suffering from injuries. Hilmar to their offensive line and running back Vargas, he's out this week. And of course, Hughson is without their starting quarterback and running back.
Similar threads from both teams. This is a must-win for both teams as well. Hilmar trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. So I think it's time for us to get into the Friday night highlights. Hilmar hits Hughson with a double dose of Perry. Brock Perry. The opening drive begins with a 5-yard run by the senior back and is capped on the very next play with a tone-setting 63-yard dash into the end zone. Perry with the touchdown and the play of the game. It's 7-0 just 41 seconds into the game.
Freshman Robert McDaniel takes over for the Huskies, and he's looking to answer back with a big throw, but the Jacket secondary is all over it, and the tipped pass is snatched by Jason Pimentel. Now Hilmar is going to take over at its own 36, where Pimentel showcases his offensive talent with a 19-yard run into Hughson territory. Look at him go, man. Man of all trades. That's followed by a 32-yard pass to Perry, but after a pair of false starts and incomplete passes, Hilmar is going to find itself in a 4th down situation. So out comes Andre Alves for a 29-yard field goal attempt. He's usually really reliable, but the snap is Tony Romo'd. Oh no, but oh yes. Pimentel is quick on his feet and quick on the release. It's a 24-yard touchdown to wide receiver Derek Taylor. That's a lot better than 3 points, and Hilmar now leads 14-0.
We're going to fast forward to the second quarter and to an Alves punt after a 3-and-out. We don't typically show punts that aren't returned, but this is a booming 49-yard punt that pins Hughson at the 13. And after an intentional grounding call on the quarterback, Hilmar's defense is looking for that elusive 2-point play. And they get it. Big tackle in the end zone. But the refs are not signaling, even though Hilmar's celebrating. It's not a safety yet. It is now. Jax Bronco executes a tremendous angle tackle on the very next play, and it's 16-0. Hilmar up.
Hilmar gets the ball right back, and it makes quick work of the Husky defense with this 35-yard bomb from Pimentel to Taylor, who's shown off soft hands there. And that's right, it's another 2-play scoring drive. Pimentel takes it 20 yards into the end zone, and Hilmar leads 22-0 after a blocked PAT. That's your halftime score.
And this was a front-heavy game, so we're fast-forwarding again all the way to the 4th quarter. Hughson with a sack on Pimentel. That's a 4-yard loss. But Pimentel makes up for it and more. On the next play, another bomb to his favorite receiver. Taylor reels in the 25-yard pass and is down at the Husky 20. And this final 11-play scoring drive ends with a 6-yard dart to Taylor for the touchdown. The goose egg stays on the board. Hilmar beats Hughson 28-0.
Biggest thing that I want to take away from this is our O-line busting their butts, our defensive line, everybody part of this team, the coaches, everyone did a great job today, and that's it. That's all I got to say.
I thought he had a great game. It gave us a little lift, that we're a little change of pace that we were looking for. Cam played really hard, but we thought we maybe need a different look. And so he answered the bell again tonight. And again, I'm really proud of the team because this was a really key game for us because after 2 losses, we needed to have this win.
The game plan was to come in here, show the league who we are, that we're not who we were the past 2 weeks, and that we are a better team than, the past 2 weeks. And our goal was to come in here, win, so then that first round bye and the first game of the playoffs that we host here.
Right now it's looking like if our rankings hold, we'll be the number 4 seed in D5 playoffs. We're stuck in D5 now. Even though we're a D6 school, we're going to be playing D5 for a while. And we're excited about that. We're going to take any opponent that comes. But right now it looks like we have a really good chance of being the 4th seed and hosting a second round game.
We got Modesto Christian next week. Our biggest thing is just to get better, work our butts off in practice, go in there, get our other guys some reps, and just build off of this going into the playoffs.
I hate to single out one player when it was a great team effort tonight. This was Yellowjacket football. They answered the bell. They played their hearts out tonight as a unit. So I really don't want to really shout anybody out other than the whole team. Great performance. The coaching staff did a great job. Great support from the administration and everybody else. This was a great win for the Yellowjackets.
Before we move forward with the rest of the show, let's recognize our sponsor. Are you a buyer looking to purchase your ideal home? Are you a seller wanting to get top dollar for your home? No matter what your real estate goals are, if you're looking to win in this market, Michael Rocha is your go-to realtor. Voted best realtor by 209 Magazine and Turlock Journal Reader's Choice, Michael Rocha has a proven track record of success throughout the Central Valley. Find out what Michael Rocha can do for you and your real estate needs by contacting him today at 209-485-5228. You can also stay up to date with Michael by following him on Instagram and on Facebook. Time to get into the stats and the totals, and we'll do team totals first, and we'll stick with the first half because this was a first half heavy game. Hilmar, 238 first half yards against Hughson's 61 first half yards. Very lopsided. When we go to the entirety of the game, Hilmar finished with 339 total yards, and Hughson finished with 154 total yards.
Big ups to Hilmar's defense for holding Hughson to 0 points on the night. We know they were a high-scoring team coming into this game. And on offense, we have to shout out that connection between Jason Pimentel and Derek Taylor. Pimentel finished the night with 177 passing yards and was 11 of 17 passing with 2 touchdowns, but he did it with his legs too. 118 rushing yards on 17 carries and 1 rushing touchdown.
And if we're looking at numbers and coincidences, Taylor, 118 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns, a tremendous showing from the junior. And of course, Angie, you mentioned the defense. They also recorded 2 turnovers.
And those 2 were interceptions from the freshman Hughson quarterback, Robert McDaniel. He had 77 passing yards on the night and was 9 of 22 with those 2 interceptions. And Will Nutcher, he carried a lot of the workload for the Huskies on Friday night. He also had 77 rushing yards on 20 carries.
And again, this was an important win for Hilmar. They must win out the rest of the season to make playoffs, and the chances are high because their next game is against Modesto Christian, who only has 1 win on the season, and their season finale is on the road at Riverbank, who has 0 wins.
Something to watch next week is that big TVL matchup between Ripon and Escalon. That will determine who is the champion of the league. But like you said, Frankie, Hughson is still in the hunt for the playoffs with their high ranking.
Yes, they will have a bye next week, and then they will face Ripon in their season finale, and Ripon will either be number 1 or number 2, so it'll be a very tough matchup for the Huskies regardless.
That's enough talking about the TVL though, Frankie, because next week we are headed into a Southern League matchup between Denair and Orristimba on the Blitz.
Denair is 0-6 on the season, so that means they're 0-4 in league, while Orristimba 4-4 in the season and 2-3 in league.
Hopefully Denair pulls out their first win of the season, and maybe we'll be good luck.
You can find that game and all other coverage at turlockjournal.com. And if you're on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, you can follow us at Turlock Journal. So until next week, when we cover Denair at Orristimba, I'm Frankie Tovar.
I'm Angelina Martin.
Thank you for tuning in to The Blitz.